call the first meeting of 2025 to order for the Ellis County Commission. All those capable, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk please call roll?
Commissioner Neil Younger,
Present.
Chair Nathan Liker,
Here.
Commissioner Michael Burgess.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, the order of business. We have one executive session at the end. Are there any other changes that we know of? Okay, seeing none, moving on to the prior minutes from December 17th.
That was a long time back.
It was.
Everything looked good.
Okay,
Yep, looks good.
okay, seeing no changes, we'll move on. Our consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda, items A through G.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for this consent agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, motion carries. At this time, issues from people not on the order of business. Anybody from the public wish to speak?
Good morning, Commissioners. Sarah Wassinger from the Chamber in Hayes, and I just wanted to come and formally invite all of you to attend our 40th Annual Chamber Awards Banquet. It will be held on Tuesday, January 28th at the Fort Hays State University Memorial Union, and there will be a backup weather date of February 4th. So I know that we work with Darren each year to coordinate tickets for you, so we hope that you might be able to join us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else from the public that wishes to speak at this time? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. At this time, we have introduction of new employees.
Good morning, Janet Schmidt, HR Generalist. At this time, we have some new employees, Scott and Brendan. Can you come up?
We'll go first since we were standing up and ready.
That's fine.
So you guys can come over here. So we have two new employees. One is a truck driver. He's to my direct left. The one to his left is our new HEO. So it's Ched Rubin and Connor Kramer.
Okay.
We're both happy to have them.
Good deal. Welcome aboard, gentlemen.
Welcome aboard.
Good morning, welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioner. Scott Brown, Ellis County Sheriff. I'd like to introduce Tabitha Hazelhorst. She is our newest in the detention facility. She actually started yesterday, was supposed to on board, but with the change of schedule, she'll take care of that today. But so she already had her first full day yesterday, and she seems to be liking it. I think she's a little overwhelmed, but that's to be expected. So we're glad to have her.
Okay, good morning. Welcome
Welcome.
aboard.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We also have a rehire. Colleen Domi will be going back to our attorney's office as a legal assistant, and she started yesterday also.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay, at this time, we have Ellis County Conservation District update.
Where you at? Good morning. I am Linda O'Neill with the Ellis County Conservation District here in Ellis County. First of all, I would like to do introductions. This is Travis Groff, our chairman of the board. This is Alan Roth. He is one of our supervisors on the board. And then I would like to introduce Mackenzie Kane. Mackenzie started out as a KACD intern this summer. And then when her internship was over, we decided to bring her on board as an employee. She was finishing school at Fort Hays State University, so we went ahead and hired her as a part-time employee during that period. And then we hired her As of yesterday, she is going to be a full-time employee for us. She is a district technician. And then we have Stephen Walters on the end. He is our NRCS district conservationist. So a couple of things that I would like to go over. I did hand you a sheet that looks like this. These are just numbers that we have put cost share funds on the ground. In 2024, terrace rebuilds, we had 14 miles. 2025, we put 15 miles worth of rebuilt, or 15 miles of rebuilt terraces. And for 2026, I already have, this says 7 applications, but we have 8. I got another one in yesterday when I was out of the office. Waterways, in 2025, we put 7.5 acres worth of waterways on the ground, and we already have 1 application for another one for this next coming funding year. Cover crops, we did 1,285 acres in 2024. This year, we have 1,424 acres for cover crop in Ellis County. Brush management, this year is the first year that I have been through this process. Brush management is basically taking everything off the ground. And we already have 115 acres here in Ellis County that we have obligated. Windbreaks, we do have a Ellis County windbreak cost share program. In 2024, we did 2 farmsteads, they're windbreaks. In 2025, we have or will do 5 farmsteads, and I look at 2026 to be even larger than that. So that kind of shows you that we definitely have a need for cost share funds for conservation practices here in Ellis County. Some things that are coming up. Well, no, let me back up. Things that we did this year, I attended in February. I went to San Diego, California, and I attended the NACD annual convention, which was wonderful. I learned a lot there. This year, we had the KACD annual convention in Wichita, which brings everybody across Kansas in the Conservation District world together. And then I attended Envirothon training in Manhattan, and I am pleased to report that we had 9 kiddos from Hayes High that went, and their sponsor, and they are looking at doing Envirothon training. So I thought that was exciting news, because while I have been here, we haven't done that before. Our plans coming up, we are having our annual meeting in January 23rd at the Rose Garden. If you would like to attend, I would ask that you either email me or call the office and let me know that you're going to attend. We are planning on hiring another intern for this summer. Conservation Day at the Capitol will be February 4th, and Alan usually goes to that. And then the NACD National Convention is in February again, and it is in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I plan on attending that this year. To give you kind of an idea of how much money we are bringing into Ellis County, I went and I broke it down into our programs. State water resources, this is money that comes from the state. We were allotted $44,488 in July. We applied for and received an extra $33,539, so a total of $78,000. Our state non-point source pollution, again, we were allotted $8,152 in July. We asked for an extra $71,437. The total for that was $79,589. In county funds, we have the county funds is what the county allots us for our cost share funds, and we paid for 3,500 feet of terraces, and we have a $10,000 terrace rebuild project that is going on. Funds that our program contributed to cost share funds, we put in $32,000 of our own money this year, and 3,400 feet of terrace rebuilds was paid out of that, and 60 acres of cover crops was paid out of that. The 2025 spending year, the federal government, their cost share funds were $791,809. So the total for state, county, and the district, we have spent $791,000, 809, I guess I already said that. But the total for cost share funds for our county, and that means federal, state, and county, is $970,000. That means that we've spent almost $1 million getting practices on the ground in Ellis County. Stephen, do you want to say something?
It's been a pretty, when we talk about, in terms of statewide, Ellis County ranks in the top 10 counties for the amount of contracts and the amount of money that we spend in cost share. There's a lot of effort put in our office, and we're a high, we're on the high. We do a lot, we're out there a lot, we're talking to producers a lot, and it's really a district and federal effort to get out there and get that done. And we really appreciate the support that the county gives to that allows, us to get that work done and get out there and work with producers. Because ultimately, we're a customer service organization, and that our goal is to get that out to the producers, work with producers to better the land. So really appreciate you guys stepping up and helping us out.
Do you guys want to say anything?
Just thank you for the support, as always, and we really appreciate it.
Yes,
We
yes.
do also have, I don't know if you're going to mention it, Linda, but we do
Yeah.
also have the Farmer to Farmer next Wednesday. I know, Nathan, you've attended that in the past, but you're all welcome to attend that as well.
Yes, the Farmer to Farmer event is something that started, I think, a year ago. And we just bring people that want to talk about, cover crops or what has worked for weed control. Anything, any topic is okay, and we do not control the conversation. We come in and introduce who we are, and then people just start talking, and it's actually been a really good event. So if you would like to attend that, it is at noon on January 15th at Thirsties. So, and if you have any questions, I would be glad to answer them now. And if not, thank you very much for your support.
Well, I'd like to say thank you for coming and updating us. I think we allotted around $76,000 or $77,000 to the conservation district, and total dollars you're bringing in almost $1 million. So that's a pretty good bang for our dollars. So thank you, and you're doing a good job, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep. I would also like to thank you, and I do have one question on the students. Were they ag-related, or were they in an FFA, or were they just students that came?
They were all FFA
Okay.
students. Nicole Winter is the sponsor out there, and she got a group of them to come out because they did not know anything about Envirothon. So it was a chance for them to see what it's about and to ask questions and understand the competition. So,
Okay, all right. That's great. Get them involved, and they're already involved, so keep them in there. And I also like to thank you guys and ladies for showing your support today. Good support for $70-some thousand, so keep up the good work.
we're trying. Thank you
You are.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we have discussion about townships and trustees.
Okay, Bobby Dryling, County Clerk, Election Official. So at the 2024 general election, there were no winners for the Herzog and Freedom Township trustee positions. Since then, I have had conversations with the Herzog Township Board, and they recommended to appoint Tammy Domi to be the Herzog Township trustee. And then when I spoke with the treasurer, Florian Domi with Freedom, he had asked if Nathan could go ahead and get reappointed, because he has held that position for the last 2 terms. So anyway, what I need from today is just a motion to appoint both of these individuals as township trustees for both of their respective townships, and it would be for the 4-year term. Any questions?
We had this discussion immediately following the election
Yes.
of what actually happened, so,
Right,
okay.
pretty simple.
Any questions?
No question.
As long as they're willing, and
Yes, they're willing. That's
Okay.
exactly, we've got to find people that are willing,
that's a tough one.
and
Yeah.
they were.
Okay. Well, I'll move to appoint Tammy Domi to the position of Herzog Township trustee and Nathan Roth to the position of Freedom Township trustee.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All right. Well, at this time, we have County Administrator report. No report? Okay, County Commissioner reports?
Would Brandon come up and give us an update on roads and work done and how much hours and overtime we've put in this weekend?
I don't have the count of hours because it's still ongoing, but myself and staff were out there both Saturday and a long portion of Sunday. We were out, had staff out there at 7 a.m. Sunday morning. We kept plowing, didn't really gain much until about 1 o'clock when the snow really quit blowing, but there's still people trying to get across the road, so we were trying to do what we could to keep it safe. And there's a reason the state kept saying out those emergency alerts that I'm sure everyone was getting tired of getting. The roads were bad. It was all across the state. So we were out early yesterday as well and stayed until 5:30. After that, it starts getting dark. You start creating ice with the heat from the blades going off on it. So we made the decision to bring everyone back in and had people come in early again this morning, and we'll keep opening what we can.
Brendan, you had received a phone call, and I think all three commissioners had heard it,
Yeah.
about pre-planning or getting things ready.
Yep.
Would you like to speak a little bit to why we probably didn't put a bunch of brine down?
Yes, so there's many reasons for brine. Brine has a Goldilocks area where it works best. I mean, the state put out brine on interstate, and they had shut down interstate. It helps to a point, but when you have that amount of freezing rain and freezing drizzle, that's water, it's gonna melt, it's gonna take away the brine with it. So unless you're constantly going back after it, you're just spinning your wheels and causing more stuff to stick to the roadways that could potentially blow off the roadways. So that's why in the past 4 years, if not longer, we have not pre-treated our roads, because there's a very specific scenario where that pre-treatment and the brine work best, and we haven't truly hit any of those scenarios. So if we did it, it'd be an increased cost to the county without really an increased benefit. So, and our decision was not to do that, but to keep people out there working.
But, I mean, so we do have the ability, if we saw the perfect conditions arise, we would have the ability to do that.
Correct, we just
But,
have to finish.
but you had monitored the situation and,
And we can work with the city to use their new brine machine, or we have a brine machine. It's not fully set up yet because we've been moving out of the old facility, and well, whenever things like this, you have to stop assembly of things to get more people back on the roadways. So,
okay. Well, thank you, and I appreciate that information.
Absolutely. Our crews have put in a valiant effort to get out there and do what they can. The whole state was going through this, so
yeah.
I think our county employees, Public Works in particular in this case, absolutely have a commendable job. I'll withhold some of my comments without legal counsel here. I'll make sure I hold my tongue a little bit on some of the comments that came in from our constituents, but the effort you guys put in, we get to stay at home, I did anyway, safe and sound, and stay off the roads while our crews are out there leaving their family and friends and spouses at home while they're on the roads trying to make it better for everybody. So
Yeah.
the effort was truly there.
And fortunately, there was just a lot of snow and it blew hard, so it drifted. I know I ended up with about a 3.5-foot drift at the end of my driveway, so had to shovel myself out quite a few times, and then city plow came by and pushed my drive shut when I was out, so I had to leave my vehicle in the middle of the road, or what was the middle of the road. They only plowed off the one side to shovel
Oh.
the road and my driveway back open so I could get the vehicle off the road, but it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast when you have a storm like this.
Yep. Just one other point, and I know I discussed this with you yesterday, but so everybody may hear, we can get this out there. Please discuss how we approach opening roads and blading roads.
Yeah. So first case first is we open up our hard surface roads, our blacktop, our concrete. We had the trucks out first because those are the roads that people are going to be on that may not be from this community, or they need to get to, your hospital's not on a dirt road. It's on paved roads. So we need to open up those first. And then from there, we go to our major collector system. So we have our FAS system. There's 44% of our roads are that. And those are the roads that are hit next. Doesn't mean if there's a road in between the two.
Can I stop you?
Yes, sir.
For everybody out there who does not know the lingo, can you describe what an FAS route is?
FAS, or Federal Aid Secondary, is a classification of road that this county has turned into the state, which has turned into Federal Highways and USDOT to denominate this is a road that is to bring communities to communities and goods to market.
So this connects towns to towns.
Correct.
Is
Population centers to population centers.
So everybody out there listening, it is to connect towns to towns. There's lots of definitions, but it's town to town first.
It's population center to population center.
Okay.
So those roads are usually wider, more right-of-way on the roads, well-established ditches, potentially wider shoulders. When you're on it, you know it. It's Commerce Parkway up to Vineyard. That's an 80-foot right-of-way roadway. You can see that when you come across it. Whereas some of our other county roads only have the 40-foot or 50-foot right-of-way that was given by statute. And you can tell that because the ditches, instead of having nice flat bottoms, they're steep, they're narrow, and they're V-cut ditches because that's all we can fit in the right-of-way. So those are the roads that are hit first. It doesn't mean that those other roads are not touched, because there's no point in my employees driving 4 miles with their blade and plow in the air to hit the next major road. They'll hit a through road to get there, just to keep opening up roadways. And then once those major collectors and minor collectors have been opened, they go back and hit the rest of the through roads. And when we try and go through a connector road, we'll try and hit ones that homes and businesses are on. But the first thing is to get those major routes open, because people are going to be on those roads first. If we don't open up those first, there's no point to open up the ones behind that, because they're just going to get stuck on the next section. So you start at your biggest and work your way down to your least traveled.
Okay. And another topic that has come up in years past, and again today, it happened to yourself. I'm sorry, I'm about ready to cough. When we plow, we try and bust the road open. We may push debris and snow into driveways.
Yes, sir.
It is not our policy to clean those driveways.
No, we cannot go back and open up driveways. It's unfortunate. In my case, I shoveled my driveway out a few times. It got pushed shut. It is what it is. The road we are to open and maintain the roadways. We're not to open driveways. Our priority is to get the roads open for people to travel on them.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the clarifications.
Yes.
And on that all.
And it's unfortunate, but interstate does it the same way. The cities do it the same way. You push the snow to the outside of the road, and you keep the road open for traveling public. If someone wants to leave their driveway and get out there, they may have to shovel again, or snow blow, or plow. But our priority and our job is to maintain the roads open for public travel.
Okay.
And with the number of driveways, we'd still have more than half the county unplowed if we had to go back and open up every driveway every time a push was made.
Okay. Thank you, Brendan.
Yep.
And
But
we're
we will hit
hiring-
every road.
We're hiring, ironically, for heavy equipment operators, so those that really think they can do the job
Yeah.
better and get out there, we're hiring. Come show your work.
But if I could snap my fingers and have all the roads open all at once, I would. But unfortunately, with nearly 1,400 miles of roadway and blowing and drifting conditions, there's just no feasible way to do that. So we did what we could with the light and with the temperatures, and tried to keep going as much as we could. But there's a time when we don't have 24/7 snow removal capabilities. So unfortunately, we have to pull people in so they can go home and sleep, because I'm not going to keep someone out there for 20-plus hours trying to keep this road open. I will change them out if I can, or we'll have to stop for the nighttime and restart again in early morning.
Okay. Well, thank you, and thank you for the update, and thank all the employees that are out there helping get this opened up.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why I was going to say thank you to all the people that, and Mr. Bird just said that, away from their families, friends, possibly risking their life the way it's not the person that's driving, it's the other one you're worried about. Not only that, it's been on, it doesn't matter if you're listen to the radio, watching the television. It's just stay home until, our crews can get everything done. Not only that, we just had Linda up here with Ellis County Conservation. Yes, the pre-treating's good. 1,400 miles, that's tough.
That's a lot of salt, and that's a
That's
lot
a lot of
of
salt,
damage that can be done to the
and
ground.
we're trying to conserve, not ruin everything and, but no, thanks
There's
again
quite a few
for-
agencies that have gone away from pre-treating and brine usage altogether because of the damage that the salt can do to the infrastructure, the bridges, the roads, and also the environment. So it's a really Goldilocks area with your brine and how you use it, where you use it. Where you have stormwater and you collect all the runoff, it's a great case to use it, but where we don't have stormwater and we don't collect the runoff, it could pose a hazard to the environment if you keep continually putting out the salt. So,
You know, I'm talking about the driveways. Yesterday, yes, the grader come through Munger. Well, mostly everybody had their deal. So, you know, I was cleaning off the church parking lot anyway, so I just drove through Munger and cleaned everybody's path off. It's no big deal. It's just a little effort and,
Yeah.
yeah.
we opened up the sidewalks all the way around my block. I don't own the homes and properties next to me, but I'm out there with my kids. Might as well help out our neighbors.
Okay. On the other hand, Mr. Graham, that's out by the fairgrounds,
No
have you
call
heard
from him
anything
yet.
from? Okay, that's good.
No, there was a vehicle stuck on Fairgrounds Road. There was abandoned on Fairgrounds Road. I don't know if that happened on Saturday or Sunday. I hadn't made it down that way, but yesterday morning when we were opening and treating with a pickup truck, there was a vehicle that was parked in the middle of the road on Fairground, just west of the fairground. So, our operator had to take the scenic route to get around to get it. That's why the state shut down their roads, was so that way the roads were clear so they could treat them and open them up for the public before you have hazards in the road that you have to try and get around.
And, you know, is it just Ellis County, Kansas? No, this thing went through states and is still moving east. So
Correct.
you got to hear it time after time, people just to, like say, stay home, and they're saying that for a reason.
Yeah.
This is a question for Darren and Brendan. We have residents in the county. Excuse me, I've got a tickle in my throat. If there's emergencies and they call and they need emergency help, we have the capabilities to get to them, whether it be a fire department or EMS or with the help of Public Works to get to people.
Yeah, I'd say it's a joint, a joint effort depending on the situation. The sheriff's deputies are out there, EMS is out there, fire, Public Works, we're all responding, and their priority is to open the roads. But if we have an area that we can't get to, we've done it in the past where we've called Public Works, the sheriff's office. Well, Scott left a little bit ago, but we all have each other's numbers, that if there's an emergency in a certain area, that we'll all work together to get the vehicles there that are needed.
Yeah, like last winter storm we had, and we had gotten you guys some tow ropes then after that.
Okay.
You know, and you've had 2 back-to-back years, last year when that snow come in and then ice underneath, and now you got it again, so.
Yeah.
Public needs to realize that, that's tough.
Yeah. Well,
They should realize that when they clean their own driveway, that if you don't watch it, you're on your back.
When you have a warning like that come out, it means to prepare for it. Don't, I need to go get coffee this morning, I'm gonna go drive to town. I would advise that you don't do that unless you have a need to be there. Order the Starbucks ahead of time, or pick up the groceries ahead of time. But I can't control what people do. All I can do is try and keep it as safe as I can for everyone.
For
Okay.
what you had handed to you and your employees, you guys got the roads in pretty good shape. I mean, except for the blowing shut, but that's.
Nothing we can do on that one,
nothing you can do on
unfortunately.
that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Brendan.
Yeah.
One last question. How's our driveway and our approach out at our new facility?
We had no issues with that.
Okay, because this would be as slick as conditions as we're
Yeah.
probably going to expect.
Yep. No issues with that, no slide offs, anything like that. It's a gravelly texture, so there is grip there. And the first thing that we do, you work your way to the area, so we're gonna drop material down on our own driveway to get out to the road so we can keep maintaining it. Because it wouldn't make sense not to open our own access road to get our equipment out. So there's no issues with that this last storm.
Excellent, thank you.
How- As far as breakdown equipment, nothing to,
Nothing
Okay.
major, a few machines, things here and there, yeah. Some fuses blown for light bars, chain skipping, throwing off gear, we need to take links out. but nothing major shut down.
Very good.
Good.
Thank you, Brendan.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Continuing on then, I want to, just a quick discussion kind of. Thursday's the National Day of Mourning for President Jimmy Carter. The state's closing offices. We're not a state organization, so we don't necessarily have to. I know it's been brought up a little bit. Darren kind of reached out. Some of the employees have reached out to ask. I know the university's closed. Banks and markets will be closed on Thursday, but, so I just wanted to have a quick conversation amongst ourselves of what we think. If we're not going to be closed, that's fine. If Darren can kind of talk through that maybe a little bit.
I will say after the communication I had last week with the commissioners on this, there was a listserv question going around between the KACN, which is the Kansas Association of City County Managers, and of the 30 responses that were out there, I would say 95% of the cities and counties that I saw are staying open, if that helps make your determination. The last president that died was President Bush several years ago, and we did not close county offices then either. Not saying one president is different than the other, but county policy is that we stay open, and anything that differs from that, the commission has the ability to make that determination is if you would like to close or not. So solely up to the commission if you would like to close for President
My
Carter's.
understanding of the state is they're closed, but is that a paid day off then still or not? Do we know?
I would hate to say assume that if they said that they're going to take off, that they would still pay their employees because that would be kind of detrimental to some
Yeah.
by having a day off with no pay.
No pay.
And they can't force them to take PTO,
Right.
or vacation, I guess.
Yeah, I do have some relation that does work for KDOT, and yeah, it is a paid.
Well, I would like to maintain with the policy that we've had of remaining open. That's what we've done in the past, and I think it's good. He wasn't from here, in my opinion. He wasn't from here. It's not a local issue.
Well, with the percentage that are staying open, that's my deal to
That's a very,
stay with that. That's
a very small
right.
group there of only about 20 emails. Bobby and I were talking this morning, there's hundreds of municipalities throughout the state, so that's just those that responded to the group email.
My initial reaction is still kind of this way is and I asked, that was my first thing when I talked to Darren, was, well, did we do it for Bush in 2018? We didn't, so I was like, well, let's just stay. Let's not set a precedent for the presidents. But over the week, my only thought process was our employees, especially Public Works, and have had a long weekend, so having a day off, it doesn't save the county any money if it's a paid day off, was just kind of just a little bit of my thought. It's like, well, we've had a long weekend, and they're out there working, putting in overtime. Do we say, yeah, well, if the state and everybody else is having a day off, then maybe we can give them a day off, but that's not really a strong argument. So I'm fine with us staying open, so.
Okay. And as far as Public Works goes, we kind of flex, we're forgiving somewhat on our employees taking off after these long weeks, or how does that work?
They have many options. They can flex time off if they allow it, or if they still need the operators out there opening up roads. But we do have budgeted overtime for these types of scenarios.
Okay.
And the more the work, the more overtime they get as well. So they can flex it off, or they can just continue to use the overtime. And Saturday's time goes on last week's overtime, starts again on Sunday. So it affects 2 different weeks in this scenario.
Okay.
We also had the holiday the previous week.
Oh,
So it was-
go ahead.
We also had the New Year's holiday, and holidays don't count as paid time or time worked. So the overtime they put in was paid at straight time for Saturday.
Okay.
So not as big of a hit to the budget.
Okay. Okay. I do appreciate your sentiment, though, for our road and bridge crews.
They've been out there busting their ass, so.
Right.
My only other comments, I did meet with Bobby last week for an hour and just kind of talk about the clerk office, and so I appreciate your time. Let me kind of get an update. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Younger?
Yes, I did attend the ribbon cutting, me and Mr. Burgess, and this is what kind of employees we have. And I quizzed our clerk, Bobby, but she was on vacation and she came out to the ribbon cutting, so that tells everybody what kind of head departments we have. So I appreciate that for you being there. And then I also did go to the Bank of Hayes ribbon cutting. They've got over 20 years in here. I didn't realize it was that long, but just think of all the tax dollars generated that they've loaned money out to people, that people have built businesses. So I appreciate that. I also did go to the Ellis County Fair Board meeting. I like to thank all them, and I did. There's a lot of good volunteers there. Now they are in the process of doing a raffle to help out. So not only do we fund them, they're also helping themselves out, which is great. I like to see that, and I told them that. So good deal for them. Like I say, there's a lot of good volunteers there. And then I did go to the recovery court, which was Judge Brown's last recovery court. So that was interesting. He had a lot of the ones that graduated there. In the 6 years that they've been doing this, they've done over 62 graduates. So that helps our population out, and they all have jobs, and helps our community out. So I do appreciate that. And then also I appreciate the work that we've done on the one subdivision. I've gotten several calls on that. We'll see how it holds up here with the moisture, and we've got room to work it now. We've got a little moisture there. So thank you, Brennan, and your staff for that also. And that's all I have.
Okay. Well, I appreciate both the other commissioners making the ribbon cutting for our new Public Works building. So I had something other scheduled that I had to attend. One thing I did get to do, I had the pleasure and the privilege of meeting with Grow Hayes out at the microfactory with the new CEO of the Patterson Family Foundation, and introducing them and having a nice conversation with them. So look to continued support from that, and they have some things in the wings,
Good.
so to speak. So hopefully we can make something happen out there. So, okay, with that, we have one executive session.
Okay, I move to the Board of County Commissioners recess to an executive session for 5 minutes under the following exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act. Non-elected personnel matter exception. The subject to be discussed during the executive session is personnel matters. Those in attendance in addition to the Board of the County Commissioners are Mr. Darren Myers.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Okay.
We will return at 9:20. Nope, I'm sorry, 9:15.
Okay. Open meeting will resume at 9:15. No decisions were reached during the executive session. With no further business, we will adjourn this meeting at 9:15.